I actually came to be in Cardiff through having studied at the Welsh School of Architecture. Thoroughly enjoyed my time here in the city, obviously stayed here and have continued working here. Obviously the beauty of the city is that we have the castle right in the heart of the city, and because of the clock tower, which is the famous bit by William Burgess, the 19th century bit, people think of it as it not being a true castle. Actually behind that it has the medieval Norman castle, which is originally on the site of the sort of Roman fort. We span from that right through to very contemporary bits of architecture. But I think the thing about Cardiff in terms of its architecture for me is more than just about the buildings. What it is about the places between the buildings. And Cardiff is very much a walk-in city. It's compact, which I think a lot of people love, and it's very much a city about its green spaces. It claims to have the most green space per head population of any European city. What happens is from the core of the city, the parks stretch out in different directions to then connect into the sort of, as you merge into the suburbs. There are a number of large venues that sit right at the heart of the city. I think it was around 1999, something like that, that actually we had a new stadium built, which everybody now knows as the Millennium Stadium. Pretty groundbreaking at the time actually, 74,500 capacity, massive, you know, right in the middle of the city. Obviously on event days, an additional 75,000 people transforms the city into something that becomes an amazing place. It's got a dynamic, there's energy. You can see it from many parts of the city, so it kind of orientates you and it gives the legibility to the city. You go out as far as Penarth, you look back from there down to the bay, you can always see this building. 2006, March the 1st, of course, very important date for us here in Wales, when the Senedd here opened. Designed by the Richard Rogers Partnership, it's a very transparent building. It sits fantastically in quite an environment that has a mix of contemporary buildings but also has quite a bit of history. We had the Pierhead building, it's very solid as it hits the ground, and then you get the Senedd alongside it, which is so transparent, lightly touches the ground, floating roofs. You only have to go up to the edge of it and you can see right through the building. It's so transparent from one side to the other, and I think that does give a fantastic dynamic. We're now outside the Wales Millennium Centre, which was completed in 2004, first phase. The big iconic bit is of course the dome that's covering the sort of main sort of Donald Gordon Theatre and the Fly Tower. The bit that obviously everybody knows and recognises is the sort of poetry on the front. It has become a really well-loved building, and I think that's because, one, probably because of its Welshness. I think people do have a rapport with that. They like the fact that it uses Welsh materials. It feels like it belongs to us. And I think it's quite an open building. You know, people feel that they can go in, you wander in there, there's cafes in the ground floor, events happen just in the foyer space. So it has become quite a welcoming building. Everybody feels, I think a lot of theatres are always quite daunting to some people. They don't go in them. It's, you know, whereas this is very much a sort of open building, and I think that's why people have loved it so much, probably. It's like anything, isn't it? Any city. If you ask lots of people what they know about a city, you ask them, you know, they usually reference it to a particular building or a structure. Paris, we talk about, you know, there's the Eiffel Tower, there's the Louvre. Sydney, the Opera House. Just one image, isn't it, that everybody instantly recognises as part of the city. And I think that's where Cardiff really thrives, is that it does have a number of those iconic, hugely photographic buildings, which we all love to look at. For me, Cardiff is probably one of the best cities in the UK that I've spent time in. I think it's compact, but it has everything that a large city has, but on a much more compact scale. It's a safe city. That's one of the things I really like about it. I feel good walking around it at any time of day, night. It feels safe. And it's a green city. We've got the river, we've got the green spaces, the park, and then we come down and we can come into the waterfront. So it has all those bits of a jigsaw that I think makes such a fantastic place to be, to live and to work.